Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm WZ-132. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be playing the WZ-132. Basically, it is the Chinese Tier 8 light tank. So how does this light tank compare to all the other light tanks in Tier 8? To be fair, it's not bad. It's basically kind of like a Tier 8 Type 62. Not quite as good as a Type 62. I think Type 62 is one of the best light tanks, period. Ever since Wargaming released it years and years ago, it is just insane. 2,250 DPM, that is an 8.8 second reload, 194 AP pen, 237 on your APCR, 52 on your HE. You do have a 300 alpha gun, which is nice. APCR is 260 and your HE is 350. But overall, it's a quick tank, 60 plus kilometers per hour. Yeah, there's quite a few. As you can see, there are quite a few light tanks here in RU-251, T-49, which is completely different. The German Bulldog, the T-54 lightweight. There are a few light tanks in Tier 8. And if you look at the lightweight here, I mean, it's not much. The alpha's a bit more than the lightweight, but yeah, I don't think it's a bad tank. There's no armor profile. DPM is about average, I suppose, for a light tank. And yeah, I do think it is a great addition to Tier 8. The aim time, very, very good at 2.4. I probably would run maybe the refined gun to make the dispersion a little bit better, because the aim time is already decent, even without that 2.7, I think it was there, or 2.5, sorry. And so that is already still really good, but you're making your dispersion much better. So that's what I would run there. So yeah, it's a tech tree tank, guys. It is a tech tree tank, so you can grind it for absolutely nothing. It's not crazy good. It's nothing like a T-49 or a German Bulldog. Nothing like them kind of tanks, and even to some extent, it's nothing like the RU-251. The RU-251 has speed, you know, it's the fastest tank in the game. But not only that, but the RU-251 has that HE, the high HE pen, and that is this hasn't really got that. Doesn't have DPM, doesn't have armor, doesn't really have gun depression. So it is one of those tanks that if you play front line, you will be bullied. So it's definitely not a frontline tank. It's definitely a light tank. And what I mean by that is play it like a light tank. You know, go spot, run away, and come in from a different direction, or go find someone else. Of course, if you do have cover, then yeah, you can stay and fight, but you got to remember your DPM isn't crazy. It isn't kind of, 2,200, so it's basically kind of average, and everybody will penetrate you, and you got to remember that everybody will penetrate you. Some people might even try to go for the HE, and they will be a success with that HE. So always try to make sure you do have cover from another tank, because you're going to need that cover, because if they stare at you, your hit points are going to go down very, very quickly. So just try to make sure that you do have that cover just for that little bit of support, and then you can play it like that way. You can play it like a light tank, like destroy them, move on, rush around the map, and you could do it very, very, very quickly. So the line is definitely worth the grind. I'm not saying it's not, like it really is. When you can do a HE shot like that as well, 352, very, very nice. So yeah, it's definitely worth grinding. And if you haven't grinded it yet, you're not getting a fantastic tank. You are getting a good tank, kind of average. Balanced, definitely balanced, but it is different to a lot of those tanks. I mean, you've got the T-54 lightweight, of course, that is very, very similar. But yeah, the other light tanks in Tier 8, you know, the T-49, that's in a different class, completely different class. The German Bulldog is kind of in the same class, kind of, as the RU-251 with the HE. It has a massive HE pen. And then you do have that, obviously, the RU-251, which is just very, very, very quick. But most of them have the same, one of the same things, and that is the armor. Hardly any of them has armor. Hardly any of them has crazy pen, and you just got to remember that. So it's definitely balanced, not insane at all, not fantastic. It doesn't really stand out like, wow, okay. It's the way I see tanks now. I didn't really sort of see it before. Is I'll sit there and think, how is it worth playing? How does it compare to the other tanks? Like, is it crazy fun? And to be honest, I would still rather play the RU-251 over this. Doesn't mean it's a bad tank at all. It can still perform like any tank. But yeah, you've just got to play it to its advantages, and the only advantage it's got is it's a light tank, you know? So you have to play it like a light tank. So we're going to have a game here. I mean, not a bad game, to be honest. We're going to push forward, and we've got a few of my team all backing me up. So at the minute, I do want to play it a little bit safe because I don't know where the enemy is. I shouldn't have risked that shot on the SP1C, to be fair. But I did end up with a nice ammo rack against the Churi. So that is already one tank down, and the SP1C has already lost a lot of hit points. Now I am going to push forward with my team. My team are all around me, which is well, some of my team are all around me, which is why I made that push. Luckily I didn't lose too many hit points. I mean, you don't have a crazy amount of hit points. Again, you've got to remember that. People start shooting you with HE, then your hit points will go down very, very, very quickly. So we're going to push forward now. There is 2 tanks down, and you know what? KV4, very, very strong tier 8 tank. I don't want to rush round. Because I know there's a charioteer there, and I know there's another tank there as well. So right now, I'm happy here. You know, I'm hiding from them 2 guys. I'm getting some damage, and we are clearing a very, very good tier 8 heavy tank. So I'm happy just sitting here for now until they try to attack. And of course, yes, he was an AFK, but I have every right going for him, and I really wanted to go for him, because if he come back alive and he was moving, I really would struggle sort of to penetrate him, and there would be 3 tanks now against me and 1 other tank that's sort of behind me. So I think that was the right decision. Them 2 guys there, the mediums, maybe could have capitalized on that. Well, tank destroyer and the medium. They could have capitalized on that and started to rush us, but yeah, they decided to hide, and yeah, thanks for the free damage on the KV4. So there goes the Pantera, and because of that ammo rack and of course the AFK, I'm now on 3k damage. There's just 1 tank left alive, and of course it is the Charioteer, so we are going to just switch up to the HE, 271 damage, but yeah, look at that damage you've done to me, almost 500, but at this point, I am just going to kill him and get the kill. So that's 4 kills to me. Decent battle. I mean, nothing special. I did go for an AFK, and I did get an ammo rack, but I still managed to get the mastery badge. So the tank is nothing special, as I've said, as I've stated, but it's still a decent tank to have in your garage. The whole line, they're all light tanks. Why not? You know, they're all balanced. I don't think there's any tank in this line that is OP, but they are all balanced. So let me know your thoughts on the WZ-132. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all very, very soon. Bye-bye.